Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. Another kind of sit down and talking video. We don't really do these normally. I promise we've got some actual fishing videos coming down the pipe, but if you've been following us along the past month or so, we've really tried to stay on top of sort of reporting on the impact of Hurricane Helene as it pertains to trout fishing in North Carolina. And really quick, I just want to say huge thanks to you guys for the support on the last video. We put that video out there just to provide kind of an update or a report on the state of trout fishing in North Carolina to the best that we could provide one. And just from looking at the reactions and the comments on that video, it seems like it was super helpful. So just really thanks for the feedback. Thank you guys for watching that video, and I'm glad y'all found it helpful. But wanted to do another one of these because there is another important update that's come out literally just yesterday. Today's November 1st. We got this news yesterday, October 31st. And I've seen it start to spread up like wildfire on social media, so I'm sure a lot of people already know this. But in case you haven't seen it, NC Wildlife has come out and officially announced that there will be delayed harvest stockings this fall and winter for a select few delayed harvest stretches of river in North Carolina. And this is obviously huge news. If you watched the last video, I kind of talked about stocking a little bit, and I think, the general consensus and everything that I saw on social media and just reports from individuals, it made it sound like all of our hatcheries were, completely blown out. And turns out that's not actually the case. Now, I'm actually going to pick up my laptop here and read the official press release from NC Wildlife, because it goes into some details on the state of the hatcheries and kind of, what to expect from the stocking program moving forward. But the summarized version of it is basically we lost one hatchery, the Armstrong hatchery. Apparently it was completely blown out. All of the fish died. But the other hatcheries in the state, the Bobby Setzer hatchery on the Davidson and the Table Rock hatchery in Marion, kind of escaped without significant losses or damages. And so, for this, round of delayed harvest stocking that we're getting, it's actually going to be fish from our very own hatcheries, which is really surprising. I would have thought that, if we did this, it would have been fish brought from out of state or fish bought from private hatcheries or something like that. But it's actually, fish that the state is raising. And so that's really good to see. It kind of gives hope that, there is going to be at least somewhat of a stocking program moving forward. I got my laptop here. I'm going to read the official press release from NC Wildlife. I'll also link it down in the description if you want to check it out. I'll link this article as well as the actual delayed harvest stocking map and dates that they have, just so you guys can see which rivers are getting stocked, what the rough time frame is for them getting stocked, and hopefully start planning some trips. But here's the press release. This is Thursday, October 31st. North Carolina Wildlife Resource Commission's Armstrong State Fish Hatchery in McDowell County of North Marion sustained significant damage as a result of flooding and landslides during Helene. Some of the hatchery's trout escaped during the flooding. However, most of the 600,000 fish of various sizes died when the storm compromised the water supply to the raceways and hatchery building. Currently, Armstrong State Fish Hatchery is closed indefinitely. Fisheries staff, along with agency engineers, continue to assess the damage and are developing plans to return the hatchery to normal operations. While the damage to Armstrong is significant and will require extensive repairs to restore operations, the Bobby N. Setzer, Table Rock, and Marion State Fish Hatcheries received limited damage and are fully operational. Therefore, the Commission has decided to temporarily delay the already planned renovation to the Bobby N. Setzer hatchery until the Armstrong hatchery is back fully operational to ensure stocking in public mountain trout waters, and staff at Setzer have begun to ramp trout production back up to full speed. Commission biologists have assessed all delayed harvest trout water locations over the past few weeks to determine what areas may be safe to stock and for anglers to fish. According to the Assistant Chief of Inland Fisheries, Corey Oakley, quote, staff will continue to evaluate delayed harvest trout water locations for accessibility to anglers. Every effort is being made to stock all accessible locations so that anglers, both from Western North Carolina and who visit, can enjoy public mountain trout water streams in areas unaffected by Hurricane Helene. The tremendous work staff has done to get production back up at Setzer and to evaluate all of our delayed harvest streams will enable us to stock some of our delayed harvest trout waters beginning the first week of November. And additional stockings will occur the first week of December, Oakley added. Delayed harvest trout water locations that will be stocked can be found at ncwildlife.org/trout. As information becomes available regarding Armstrong State Hatchery's restoration and future public mountain trout water stockings, it will be posted on the agency's website at ncwildlife.org/trout. So that is the press release. I'm also going to go over to the actual delayed harvest stocking plan that they've updated and just flash that up here on the screen so you guys can see. And just, from that press release and looking at this new delayed harvest stocking plan, there's a little bit to unpack here. While it's certainly, a huge blessing that not all of our hatcheries were damaged or lost stock, I think it goes without saying that, the stocking numbers are probably or definitely not going to be as high as they normally are in the past. Not only that, but looking, at this delayed harvest stocking sheet here, there is a much more limited set of areas that they will be stocking. And most of those rivers, they're going to be focused in the western part of the state. Haywood, Swain, Graham, Cherokee, Clay, Macon, all that stuff is kind of west of Asheville. And then you've got, a few rivers kind of in the northeast part of the mountains up in Surrey and Wilkes County. That middle part of the county, it seems like obviously that's where a lot of the damage from the hurricane occurred. And as the weeks have gone on, I've seen a lot more images and videos of some of the rivers in those areas. It's going to take time to really assess a lot of that water and understand if it's safe for people even just to go fish. You're dealing with more than just fishing conditions here. You're dealing with, toxic water and polluted water potentially. You're dealing with eroded banks and really difficult access where the water's swept out, parts of roads and taken out places that used to be access points. So a lot of that stuff just still needs to be assessed. And so I understand why a lot of the delayed harvest rivers that are in kind of that middle portion of the mountains between Boone and Asheville are not on this list. So if you're wondering why, that's obviously why. And with that, it's going to take time. It's going to take patience. Those people still need help. I just want to repeat that. I know I was very adamant about that on the last video, but just to repeat that, there are communities out there that still need massive amounts of help. There's still people missing. There's still need for donations. So again, I just want to reiterate, if you have the time and you have the resources, try to go volunteer and help out. I would make it a point to try to do that first, before you go plan like a big fishing trip. With that being said though, it's really great that we are getting some stockings in a big portion of the mountains. A lot of the guides out there and really across the mountains rely on delayed harvest stockings in some of those rivers to put clients on a little bit easier to catch fish and a little bit more consistent fishing action. So this is great news for guides, for fly shops, really for the whole mountain economy, especially in that, further western portion. But look, like I mentioned and like the article mentioned, there's a whole hatchery that's out of commission right now. So obviously that's going to mean, decreased numbers of fish. I would still dial back expectations to a degree. This isn't going to be like delayed harvest fishing of the past. There might not be the volume of fish that there normally is with some of these stockings. So whether you're going out there on your own or you're hiring a guide, try to level set your expectations. Try to understand, you might not be catching 10, 15, 20, 50 fish in an outing. Even if the stockings are now condensed to a smaller subset of streams, I would still expect the volume of fish to be quite a bit less than what we're used to. Not only that, but with the smaller set of streams that are getting stocked, you can probably expect a lot more pressure more anglers, more of the guides focusing on these delayed harvest rivers to get clients on, like I said, more consistent fishing. That's just something we're all going to have to deal with. It's still going to be an adjustment period. And I would still encourage people to, start exploring more and maybe not relying so much on the stocked fish. I know that's kind of a staple of North Carolina trout fishing is our delayed harvest program. And I know a lot of anglers who almost exclusively fish the delayed harvest stuff. I would encourage anyone who is in that boat to try to branch out, try to start looking for some wild fish, get up in those higher elevations, chase some wild brook trout maybe. CJ and I actually went out recently and we checked out a couple rivers. One was a little bit lower elevation, bigger water. We found some fish. There's still fish in some of these places that honestly haven't been stocked in a long time. And then we went up high, about above 3,000 feet and found some awesome brook trout fishing. And guys, let me tell you, if you're willing to explore, if you're willing to hike, if you're willing to put in just a little bit of work, you can find an endless amount of water to chase after wild fish. And I know, just speaking from our standpoint, we have a ton that we want to explore that's probably going to keep us busy for years to come, even regardless of the stocking situation. But with this announcement, we do plan to probably hit up some of this stock stuff, especially through the winter time when some of the higher elevation stuff starts to get a little bit tougher. That's really what we love, the delayed harvest program for is fishing lower elevation water when it gets really, really cold. It gives you something a little bit more consistent to fish. So we're really excited about that. But that's all I got, guys. Again, just another, quick update here. It's a great update. Super excited about it. Like I said, we have been fishing recently and we've got some fishing content coming down the pipe. It's just taken us a little bit longer to get it out. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys can start making some plans to get out on the water soon, especially if you're in this region and you can get up to the mountains and maybe hire a guide and support the local economy. And definitely if you can, still volunteer or donate to areas that need help in Western North Carolina, we obviously would still encourage you to do so. There's still a lot of help needed there. That's all I got, guys. We'll see you soon out on the water. Slab out.